super popular item on QVC. This is the CLIPPERPRO 2.0. You're going to choose either the fingernail or toenail clipper. You can, like most people, choose both if you would like. And this is unique in that it has a swivel head, and that's important because sometimes when especially when you're trimming toenails, you have to almost be a contortionist to get in the right position to properly trim your toenails. Sometimes it's hard to lean over, sometimes it's hard to put your toe up where, where you can reach it properly. A lot of times we're sitting on the toilet seat, aren't we, with the lid down, sitting like a little chair there trying to do our toenails, or like she's doing there on the side of the bathtub. So it's important to get the right angle, because if you can't see what you're doing and if you cut with the wrong tool, you can really, if you cut your toenail too short, it's painful. And you don't want to rip or tear your nails, whether it's toenails or fingernails. So this is a safe, professional way to do your own nails. And we have it for you right here on the set. I have it for you in the toenail size, which is right here. And you can see the swivel head that goes from side to side. And then only at QVC do you get the lock. So the lock will pop over this when you get it at just the right angle for cutting your nails. You can slide this lock over it and then it won't move at all. So let's bring in our friend Brooke Mills, who is the expert on the CLIPPERPRO, among other things. Hi, Brooke. Nice to see you again.
Hey, Carolyn. Thank you for having me. But yeah, these have been hugely popular because they work, and it's kind of like I like to say it's the better mousetrap all the way around. These were actually created by 3 orthopedic surgeons because they couldn't find a toenail clipper or a nail clipper on the market that was very effective, yet most importantly, easy for their patients to use. So that was their goal, to create the toenail clipper and the nail clipper that is specifically designed for people with reduced hand strength. And that's because you're using, if you put the long side in the palm of your hand, you're using your entire hand versus just 2 fingers, like something like this, and not very effective. And quite often, I think we can relate to this. You have to use both hands because it's just not very effective. This makes it so much easier, and you have that swivel head. So you're going to get the exact angle. So like you said, you don't have to be a contortionist. It just makes it so simple. Just a brilliant idea.
And, again, it's safe. There's a lot of nippers and trimmers and clippers and all kinds of things at the drugstore or sometimes in the grocery store checkout. They're really not made very well. They'll do the trick in a pinch if you have nothing else, but often they're going to make the problem worse, especially if you have a hard time, bending over, getting your foot in just the right position to trim your nails, or even if you're trying to help your spouse or a child, sometimes it's difficult to be very careful not to cut something too short or to cut it at a weird angle or to tear it. You might think it's been cut and then you're trying to tear it, and that makes it even worse. It can be very, very painful, can't it?
Absolutely. And these were very, very popular with people who were taking care of someone who was a little bit older, perhaps didn't have the strength to do it on their own. And then when they received it, they're like, okay, you know what? I can do this myself. So even with the younger kids, honestly, it's just a better mousetrap. So if you haven't replaced this in a long time, this is the smarter version. It's more effective. You do have those stainless steel blades, which gives you that precise cut every single time. And the 3 orthopedic surgeons, they created it because they wanted it to be similar to the instruments that they use when they perform surgery. So obviously they needed to be easy to use and very, very effective.
And you really
smart.
You don't need, and I have some arthritis in my hands, and you don't need a lot of hand strength to use these. They are really, it's like a spring release, so the tool does all the work. And then you can see, if we could come in close here, and I've got the fingernail, you've got both, I think. Do you have both at your end? Okay.
I do, yes.
You can see how it's not opening, the clipper itself is not opening super wide. So it's just the right width to, cut down just to the right length. You can see how it's not sticking out really far, like way out here, like sometimes those nail scissors, which are sharp on the end, and you can really just cut something way too short with those. This is safe, and again, it swivels. If you need to hold it this direction and cut your toenail, no problem. And then, Brooke, tell me about this lock, because this actually is only available when you buy the CLIPPERPRO at QVC.
Right, and this is the CLIPPERPRO 2, so this is the upgraded version. So you do have that metal handle, the stainless steel blades, and you have that swivel lock. So basically the tension on that swivel is pretty secure, but by customer request, people said, you know what, I'm pretty sure I'm going to use it for like all the time on one side. So we give you the lock, you just place it over it, just kind of like a helmet,
Yep.
and it clicks into place.
Right.
So it's there if you want it, but you certainly don't have to use it. And Carolyn, I just want to show people, because this is the toenail clipper. Hopefully you can see this.
Yes.
And the blades are a little bit longer and wider to accommodate those thicker toenails.
Okay.
By the way, our toenails as we get older do get thicker.
They do. It's true. It happens to everybody. And
Yep.
there's not something wrong with you. It's just something that happens when you get older. And they are, you know, challenging to cut your own toenails, you know, or again, help someone else to do theirs, because the tools that we may have used when we were 25 or 30 don't work very well anymore.
Right. It's so true. And the toenail clipper, by the way, I'm sorry, the fingernail clipper is curved. So it's very similar to the curve of your actual fingernail.
Yes.
And I think we have it in the video, but if you can just imagine, if you're trying to cut your toenails, right, you need to kind of get in front of your toes if you're using a traditional toenail and cut it that way. This, it makes it easy because you turn that swivel head to the exact angle. See what she's doing right there? And it makes it easier. And if you are someone with dexterity issues, if you have reduced hand strength, or if you just can't cut your toenails or your nails like you used to because you're using something that's kind of antiquated, if I may say so, this is just so much smarter and easier.
Yeah. So we have blue or red. They are not sold as a set. You're going to buy them separately. So you're going to choose toenail or fingernail clipper, or if you want both, then you'll put both of them in your cart and then just choose the color that you want. Tell me about this company, CLIPPERPRO, the company that makes this. I mean, it is medical grade.
Yes, it's medical grade, and it was actually created by 3 orthopedic surgeons. And the story is they couldn't find a nail clipper on the market to recommend to their patients, because many of them were saying to them, you know, we can't cut our toenails. It's really difficult. What do you recommend? And they couldn't find one. So they created it, and it's very safe. And what's interesting, when you get it home, it is that metal handle, but I don't want people to think that it's heavy.
No.
It's just weighted. It feels secure in your hand. You put the longer side of the handle in the palm of your hand, and you just grip it like this. So you're using the entire hand versus something like this where you have to use 2 fingers.
Right.
Pops out of your hand, just not as effective.
And you don't have the strength, and you don't have the proper tool. But again, you're using your whole leverage of all of your fingers here, and then this holds it in place, the longer handle in the crick of your thumb in the palm of your hand. And then again, whether you're doing fingernails or toenails, you've got that swivel head, which you can see goes from side to side at whatever angle you'd like. And then don't forget, we have the little lock that if you want to make it extra secure, you just place this over top of it and then click it under the bottom. And then that's removable, of course, if you don't want it on there anymore. So choose the red or the blue. We've sold over 120,000 of these at QVC. Rave customer reviews, 200 more ordered in this show. Choose the blue or the red, choose the toenail or the fingernail, or get both, which is what a lot of people do. Brooke, thank you so much for being on the show today.
Thanks, Carolyn. Great to see you. Thanks for having me.
Same here, honey. Take care. All right, everybody. Stay in the ordering process for our CLIPPERPRO. Very, very popular. And that's going to wrap it up for At Home with Carolyn. We are going to segue into an hour of a fabulous Dyson vacuum cleaner with Debbie Fediakov. And then we have an hour of Bose on sale coming up after that. Stay with us.